Hello everybody, my name is Christian Quick, and welcome back to another video. Now, I have a very special thing that we're going to be doing with the shovel. Trust me, when we get to the end, it's going to be a little bit of a process, but when we get there, we get there. So, first thing we're going to do is make the shovel, and it is going to be, a brick shovel. I don't know. I'm running out of things here. Let's go ahead and make the brick shovel. SHO shovel, and this is not going to be an axe item. This is going to be a shovel item, and eventually we're going to change this in that bonus. But as you can tell, I did pickaxe, a special sword, a regular axe, and right now we're making the regular shovel. But trust me, we're going to be making a crazy thing. But with the basics down and in here, we're going to need to make a new tool material because I want to. We're going to Control C, Control V, that's paste, replace that with a comma, and then we are going to make brick. So the thing about brick is the mining level. Let's say the mining level, I mean, this is a shovel. I mean, how strong can the mining level be? 4. Okay, no, probably not. Let's keep it at 2. I want to say 1, but I don't really know. Yeah, we could do 1. Item durability, we could keep it at 1,000. I don't mind it. Mining speed, I got this. Let's put this at 1 because I know what this is gonna turn into later. Attack damage, we keep it at 0. This and then I didn't even think about this. Prismarine shard, the repair item is supposed to be a prismarine shard, and then this one is supposed to be a brick. I hope that's the item and not the block. But oh yeah, items, not brick, so it's the item. So going back in here, we now have to call it as for brick. The attack damage, it's literally just a shovel, so we could just have the damage be like 2, and then the attack speed. We're just gonna say that this is gonna be a whopping 0, 0F, and it should automatically add 4, should add 1, so this would be a 3, 4 weapon. So let's add in all the crazy little things. So a data gen model provider. We are gonna do Control D, and then we're gonna have to add this in. This is the brick shovel. It's gonna be handheld. The lang, it is an item. Control D, and then here we go, brick shovel, and then right here we're gonna call it brick shovel. Did I remember to put in? Yes, for some reason I thought I forgot it there. All right, and then we are gonna need to. Not there. I'll close out of that. We're gonna need to make a crafting recipe. Really simple and easy stuff. So here we're gonna need a brick. Yeah, let's slap a tasty brick on there. Get some sticks. Yummy. Oop, drag them over. And then we're gonna need a shovel. We could use a wooden one. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. And then we're just gonna copy this. Control C. And then we are gonna go into our recipes. And then we're gonna make the brick shovel.json, and then we're going to paste it in there. And the only thing we need to change is the from wooden. It is going to be an HMH3 brick shovel. It's only going to give us 1. And then putting in the thing here, brick shovel. If you're unsure what this does, this just makes it so that if you obtain these items in your inventory, brick and stick, then you will unlock the recipe and you'll have it in your recipe book. And trust me, when I made the mistake of not adding these, and then once I got to making probably 100+ items, I then started having trouble remembering all the recipes. So that was pretty difficult. So we got basically, I hope everything's in. I think everything's in. That's it. So all we got to do here is make the texture, and then we're gonna see how it looks in the game. Hello everybody, it's your editor. Alright, the secret is out. I'm just gonna explain about this whole thing. So basically, although I'm gonna explain this into 2 parts, first I'm gonna show you I want an item that when I break it, it gives me haste 1. If I continue breaking blocks, it keeps increasing my haste the more blocks I break. It's got a small duration of time, so you have to keep breaking, keep breaking, keep breaking, and your haste will keep increasing, keep increasing, keep increasing. And if you've ever seen a haste 2 beacon, it's already ridiculous. So there's that. And then the second thing is to show you where I got the idea from. But I mean, with that in mind, that is the craziness that we're gonna get to. But first, let's get back to the video and see how our regular shovel's working first. Here we are in our beautiful Minecraft world. I should turn off my my caps lock. Stick, and then we're gonna need a crafting table. Excuse me, time, set, day. Alright, and then we are going to need to put in our 2 sticks, a brick, and then here we go. We got ourselves a brick shovel. Now, if I go in survival and I start using it, this brick is pretty slow. I'm going to get away from that hole over there because I may have tested this a little bit before I started recording. So you can tell this is our brick shovel, and it just mines painfully slow. Let's give it slash enchant, if you didn't know you could do this, at S, and then let's give it efficiency just 1. Just 1. And then we're just going to put it on, and look at that. It doesn't feel like it's moving anywhere. And with that in mind, let's get on with the special attribute that I've been talking about. Alright, and our item starts here. We're going to make a new Java class, and let's call this the brick shovel. And from here, we're going to basically need to extend shovel item. And we are going to construct our matching super. And the only thing that we are basically going to need is actually not in here. Mining tool item, we need this thing called postMine. So now I've described post hit on the sword. So now we're going to talk about postMine. And postMine is on your mining tool item. So you could also put this on your pickaxe if you wanted to. This would be more useful on your pickaxe. But listen, I needed to make the shovel a lot more interesting. So with that in mind, let's take this down a little bit. And if you remember, we needed this when we made the sword, because that's just kind of how they're called. So this is going to be a little bit. So we're going to have our if statement, and we're going to need to do exclamation mark super dot postMine, and because it's a super class, we basically need to call everything. So we're going to need this. So as soon as I start typing it, you can see how they're all placed in here. Bam. And then suddenly it says, I honestly, I'm not too sure what the super does. All I know is that it just, through time, I've just learned that it solves my problems. Usually super classes are always every time I add a new item, I always see the super, and then it literally material, damage, it just copies whatever this is. I'm not too sure what that exactly does. I think I had a conversation with a friend before, but he tried to explain to me before I knew Java a lot more than I did. So we're going to be adding a status effect instance. And that status effect instance is going to be called, well, status effect instance, and it's going to equal, let's say, miner dot get status effect, and then the status effect that we want, status effects, the plural, dot haste. So basically, what this is going to start doing is every time I break a block, it's going to give me haste. But the thing is, I could simply just say I want to give me haste 200 and then like a thing. I could have done that previously, but because we're making this special, it's going to be a little bit different. Let's continue coding and just see how it is. So I'm going to call an integer, and the integer is going to be I standing for integer. I see this a lot in code. And we're going to make it equal 1. And this is going to be for our speed, right? So right now the speed equals 1. And so if I say if the status effect instance is not equaling null, so I think that means like if it's nothing, then what it's going to do is take I, our mining speed integer of 1, boop, and I, which is currently 1 in this case, and it's going to plus then or equal to status status effects instance dot get amplifier, and with with that we can do miner dot remove status effect internal. It's remove status effect eternal. There it is, and then the status effect type. So status effects dot, and then I can say haste. So it's basically making it so that if I have haste 1 and haste 2, or if I have it set to 1 and it's going to add 1 onto it, so now at this point I would have haste 1 and haste 2. Now your haste 2 is going to override your haste 1, so it's going to get rid of the one that it originally had, that 1. So you just keep it at 2. It would automatically override it, but we're not going to worry about it. So let's make an else statement, and then we can do minus I, our integer, and then we can now say I equals math helper dot clamp, and what this clamp is going to do is basically say that we have our I and our minimum value and then our maximum value. So although this would keep adding haste, so it's going to be a haste 1 to haste 2 to haste 3, you can set this maximum to whatever you want. I'm going to set the maximum to 20. Because if you could imagine what haste 20 is going to do, I mean, you can increase it if you want, but I'm not going to do that. Do it on your own code. Status effect instance, and then I need to call a second one. So status effect instance, and then this is the second one. I'll call it 2. Technically, I should call it 1 because the other one is 0, but I don't care. So then we're going to go for new status effect instance, and then status effects dot haste. So that's what we're calling. And then this is where we put in the duration. So let's say it's only basically, it's going to last, so this would be actually 10 seconds. Let's say 5 seconds, 100. And then this is when we put in I. And when we have that, it's crazy. But this is basically why it's called I. So now it's saying, what instance do you have? But the thing is, it's not being used. But this is the I that's going to keep increasing every time we post mine. But how do we get it to do that? It all comes down to the second one. And let's make an if statement. And I want this to be something that is always true. So I'm going to do world dot get game rules dot get boolean, and then we can put in here game rules disable raids, and then over here we just go into here, and then we gotta do miner dot add status effect, and then we can do status effects instance 2. So now it is being used. And then from here we have our here is our the damage thing, and we don't need this actually being called anymore. So we can just kind of break that down. Actually, let's put this in a lambda first. Express with lambda expression, and then I can just literally just Control C, spit that out, and then take that. That doesn't matter if it's at the beginning or end, and then otherwise it needs to remain return true. So now that this whole thing is in the code, let us take in brick shovel, and it's not being used. So now we have to go into our mod items, and we need to not call this shovel, but our brick shovel. All right, one more change before we get like really serious. I know I said I wanted the mining speed to be 1. let's set this to 2. I'm gonna feel a lot better, and then we're also going to set this to 2 as well. It will make a difference, trust me. Alright, here we are back in our lovely Minecraft world, and I still have my efficiency 1. The reason I wanted to make the mining level increase is because it would be like trying to maximize the efficiency of a wooden tool, and let me tell you, wooden tools are just that bad. So at least make it stone. But if I break, we got haste. If I break again, we got haste 2. Break again, we got haste 3. Break again, we got haste 4, and you get the idea. So if we just keep going, it eventually will start, and then it just gets ham. There's a certain point before it just builds up, and then if I stop and then I let it die out, stopped, it's gone, and then I have to start again. So with that in mind, that's not even the fastest efficiency. Efficiency 5 is the fastest efficiency, and you just start. You just start going ham. Like there is not even a chance for you to not go ham. You just go ham. So these are probably a little overpowered. But I thought that this was a really fun tool. And it is something that you can put on any mining tool item, so feel free to do that with what you will. I hope that you find that that was worth it. It put me a little bit together, and then let's throw in a little bonus note on where I got it from. So the idea, although I wrote out this entire code, you can tell that the idea is I wanted it to post mine, but where did the idea come from? First, let's look up an illager entity, and then it extends a raider entity, and then if we just scroll down a little bit, you got your tick movement, an on death. Now, on death, if you remember, doesn't this look a little familiar right here? That's also why I have the game rules set as disabled raids, because that's how they did it. It is something that is basically always true, and the amplifier is something that always goes up, and you get the bad omen effect, and it has a clamp of 4. So remember, in Java, things start at 0, and 0 means 1, so this is level 1 to 5. You can have a maximum bad omen level of 5, and no higher. When that happens, I mean, that's basically what I have it doing. But the problem is, I'm not killing something. This has nothing to do with the damage source. So I had to basically copy and paste this part that I wanted, Control C, and then I went into my brick shovel, and then I simply said, basically, I just shoved it in here, and then said, look, there's all these problems. How do I fix them? How do I translate this? Item stack is empty and all this, and the banner, as you can tell, this is where the super is. Super affect the player entity. The player entity is the miner. The remove, that is also a miner. So the world is literally, I just don't call this, and you are fine. And then this is once again miner. But as you can tell, most of this was copied from here. You just have to do a little translation, but other than that, I mean, it just works. There are many instances where you'll see something and you might be like, "Hey, I want to use that code, but I'm not killing something. I mean, it's after the result of something. It's post death, and this is post mine. So I've retranslated how I'm using this, but it's the same idea put in there. So that is in there. That is really cool. So that's it for the shovel idea. I showed you where the idea came from. I gave you the bonus idea, and then I think after this we have the last tool, which would be a hoe, and we already talked about the hoe with the sand tiller. So that one's going to be interesting, but not really. But we do also have the bow item, which is the last kind of like weapon per se. And then we're going to get into armor, and that's when something's going to get real, because I've been working on something with the armor for like a couple hours. So thank you guys. that's gonna be all for today. This is probably a long enough video as it is. You'll notice compared to all the other videos, but anyways, that is gonna be all for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and without further ado,